I want people to know that this is a job and this is our career and this is one of the coolest sports that I've ever seen. And, like I said, if there's a button I can hit to, let people know that this sport is insane and badass, I'd hit it with a sledgehammer.
Rodeo time.
Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. Our next guest is what a lot of people would call Rodeo's badass. He has some pretty cool names. I think it's great, but really his dad is the one that started with the Rodeo badass. It's we got two-time NFR Qualifier ROCKER Steiner. ROCKER, thanks for joining us again, man.
Thank you for having me.
This would be the second time we had you on the show. The first time we discussed a lot of your intensity in the arena and the way people, kind of, I guess the way they really dogged you for the way you went about how you rodeo. And what I'd love to see is you still carry on that intensity and you pretty much gave everybody the middle finger and you just do you.
Yeah. I've tried to tone my energy and the way I am down, and it doesn't work. It either just seems like I'm just someone I'm not, or I don't ride as well, and I'm just not me. So it wasn't that that I'm putting on a persona and I was doing something that wasn't me. If I'm not who I am, I feel like I just suck. So that's the only way I can do it.
Well, I got some flack when I'd shake my ass after throwing a steer fast, and it was one of those deals where I guess if somebody had an opinion about it, it was good. It's one of those deals where you get noticed no matter how good you do or how bad you do. I guess what's what I'm trying to think. Good. Any publicity is better than no publicity type deal, because the sponsors they certain sponsors love it. And you've done pretty well with picking up sponsors from you being you.
Look at Kim Kardashian.
I can't look at Kim Kardashian, but anyway, but what you've done for yourself, and there's times where people, and I think you even got caught up, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or shouldn't have said that, or should have not should have, but maybe went about it a different way. Yeah, I know in my career I've done that.
But what's weird for me to see is, you remember, my first finals, how rough that was. Reno last year, I had some big things happen and people, reach out and, on social media, all that kind of stuff. But here recently, I feel like they've just kind of gone away. I feel like the people that used to hate on me are probably still there, but I just don't see it as much. Right. I feel like it's about time, where it's kind of like they're just fine. We can't talk shit anymore.
This is how he is. That's just the way it is. We're leaving it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring up Reno.
I can kind of see it calming down, which kind of upsets me. I wish they'd come back.
I'm sure you'll do something to piss them off again, but I wasn't going to bring up Reno, and since you did, just kind of a crazy deal. A guy was tying in the neck rope on a horse, and was it Lefty that was in the bronc riding at the time? No,
it was Jaco. He was getting on a horse that he got on the day before, and it flipped and broke his rigging, and it was, known to be terrible in the chute. And it broke his rigging, and he was getting on it the next day, and he wasn't going to get on it because he didn't want to, risk breaking another rigging or
right, or his neck.
And yeah, exactly. Well, he was 82 or 83 in the long round. All you have to do is Reno be 80 twice. So I was like, Jacob, you're getting on. I'll watch out for you in there. And he's like, all right, well, I'll get on as long as, you're watching out for me. And I was like, all right, well, the horse flips, neck rope gets let go, grab the neck rope, tell him to hang on to the neck rope. And, some words are said and, everything's good now. That was a while ago. So, but, things are said and stuff happened and, I tried to walk away and it wasn't, I couldn't. So, things happened and, 30 days later, I came back.
30 days suspension. But what a lot of people say that most people don't realize is the intense in the moment, especially when you're in the shoot, you especially getting in the shoot, but when you're helping your buddy, because
I get more fired up whenever I'm helping my buddies than I do whenever I'm riding. And it's hard to calm your emotions down, like, and you don't even mean to like do it, but like whenever you say something, like you say it with so much intensity that it comes off like you're an asshole.
oh yeah, no, 100%.
Whenever I said hang on to the neck rope, it probably came off as an asshole, but I was just trying to help.
Sanderson Ford is celebrating.
Ow! Can he slow it down a bit?
Hey, Randy, turn down the heat.
That's perfect. We're celebrating our 69th anniversary sale.
Now during the Mighty Fine 69 anniversary sale, get home run deals like these.
Get 1.9 financing on F-150 trucks. Get 0% financing plus $1,000 flex buy cash on new Escapes.
Catch the savings at Sanderson Ford.
A proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
To like actually hang on. Yeah, and I guess I can get that because I've seen it in my career. I mean, I loved your dad. He was one of my closest friends, and I could see that coming out in him when we were competing. And it's not that he was being an asshole. That's just the intensity level that you and your family carry.
For sure, yeah. It's just the way we are. I mean, I've seen my dad do some things, and it pissed people off, and I just like have to tell him like that's just how he is. He's not being an asshole. It's just he is just him. Like. He's just intense, and I'll get the same way. I don't think I'm as intense as my dad. I don't think anybody is.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I'll agree with that.
But, it's just how we are. We're not – I mean, there's not many times I get like that, but, sometimes it happens.
Well, let's move on. Let's talk about Fort Worth and San Antonio champs, but back-to-back wins at Fort Worth. Being your circuit and rodeo, you probably grew up watching. That's one of the most prestigious things that a guy could get is especially Fort Worth win, but a back-to-back win. Yeah,
I love that rodeo. I mean, some guys just have good luck at rodeos. I guess mine's just Fort Worth. I want mine to be the NFR. I would like to have back-to-back wins there too. But Fort Worth. I mean, it kind of seems like that's like the time where I kind of start getting fired up again. Like,
yeah,
I mean, because, whenever you come back home in October, you're like, oh my God, this is awful. I've been gone for 6 months. And then you go to the finals. And then after the finals, like I get like super, like just drug out. Like, I don't want to go to Denver. Like, I don't want to go to a rodeo for a little while. And then when Fort Worth cracks off, it's like, all right, let's freaking go. And so that seems like the time where I start getting fired up again. And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just had pretty good luck there the past couple of years.
Yeah, and then obviously got the W at San Antonio the next, I guess, a couple weeks later. And at that point, you were winning first in the world, after San Antonio win. And, I mean, you're still holding on to a spot where you just keep on rolling at them and maybe have a chance to go into the world finals number one.
Heck yeah, that's the thing. Like going into the finals number one isn't like the thing that I strive to the most because I feel like whenever you go in number one, you're running from people.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's easier to chase than it is to run. So I would like to just go in with like, far enough behind where if you place, you're in the lead. In the final.
Well, I know I went in a couple different times, number one, and the first year I went in, that was the mentality I had. It's like I'm getting chased, and I didn't like that feeling at all. So the next year I went in, I had to just reset my brain. It's like, okay, they're behind me, but I'm chasing a gold buckle. That's what I'm chasing. Yeah. I'm going after that, and I think it really helped me kind of shake there's people behind me chasing me because I'm going after that.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't think about that.
Did I just help?
Huh?
Did I just help you maybe?
Yeah, maybe I'll just go in the lead this year.
And chase the gold buckle and catch it.
You made it sound pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, super easy, right?
Yeah. Like the finals is funny because say, Fort Worth, for instance, like there's guys that are, there's probably in a set, there's like 3 NFR guys. and 4 come out. So it's like, all right, well, I have to beat 8 guys, but only 3 were only 2 other guys are at the NFR. So it's like, you kind of know who's coming out. And it's scary, but it's like, I'm coming out, I'm going to make the show round and probably going to win money. Whenever you go to the finals, it's like, oh, hell yeah, I have Virgil. And then you look at the day sheet, and it's like, holy shit, there's 14 other guys that are the best in the world, and they also have horses that are just as good as mine.
Yeah. That's so much. That's so true. I never thought of it that way. And I had this discussion, well, I have it all the time, but there is such a young core of bareback riders coming up that are just absolute studs.
I don't know what it is, dude. It's something in the water.
Yeah, it must be something like that. It's been pretty damn impressive from an old guy, which that's what I call myself now, an old guy, watching the young kids come up. And that's in all the events. But, man, the bareback riding was stacked. I don't know how many rookies were at the finals last year. And right outside of the top 15, there was, a handful of other kids.
Yeah, and, I mean, you got to think about now. I mean, like Cooper Cook, he's freaking sending it, dude. I don't like I think he might spur himself in the face one day.
Wow.
And then there's Sam Peterson, Weston Timmerman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be 4 rookies this year that are going to make the NFR.
So you posted a picture. I think it was you posted on Instagram or something of you, and there was just a whole group, or somebody, you reposted it maybe, of a bunch of young kids. Was that at a bareback riding clinic, or what was that?
No, that was Cheyenne whenever I was 14. It was, so just in that picture was me, Sam, and Weston, we were all at the Houston, going into the Houston semifinals. And so it was just kind of cool, like, because Sam showed me that picture, and I was like, dude, we were 14, 15, and we're at Houston now, and we're all still riding. And I just thought it was cool that, like, at the time we were just little kids, and now we're, some of the best rookies or best young bareback riders they've ever seen.
Well, and what you guys have done, and I mean, I think you talk to anybody, even, some of the legends, Bobby Moat, guys like that. You guys have taken bareback riding to a whole new level. And I even look at it like bull riding. So with the PBR, the way they're breeding bulls and these guys are having to stay on these ranked bastards, it's no different than in the bareback riding. I mean, the way they're breeding these horses to buck, rank, big, strong, powerful, and you guys got to stick your hand in the rigging and stick it on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found out that Killer B is having a baby with, like, commotion.
Yeah.
I told Ben, I said, dude, please put it in the Bronx.
Yeah, right.
For the love of God, please don't do that to us. But,
how strong would that sucker be?
Dude, I've always said I've come around at the perfect time, because I came around, Spilled Perfume was gone, Killer B was gone, Craig at Midnight was gone, like Show Stomper. Like, I came around and there was, like, really no eliminators other than Ghost Town.
Well, I don't think it matters if you had an eliminator or not. Obviously, how many points were you on Virgil to set the world record? 90 what?
5.
Yeah, 95. I mean, that's and I mean, for you to be able to get on Virgil and do that, and then seeing what you've done in your young career, I don't think the eliminators are going to be a problem. And I mean, obviously, you go to the finals and have to get on one after another and rank ones. Mm-hmm. Them eliminators probably feel a little bit stronger than they would if you had them throughout the season, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, I feel like whenever, like, you first crack out during the winter, like, rank horses. Like Fort Worth, you draw an eliminator at Fort Worth, and, like, you get on, you're like, damn, that was hard. And next thing you know, you look up and you're just getting on those horses all the time, and it's not a big deal.
Right.
Like, throughout the summer and, Houston, like, you're getting on eliminators, and it's just like, that would have been really hard at Fort Worth, just because you're not used to it. And, like, but, during the summer, it's like, it's just what we do. We just get on.
As the season goes on through the year or throughout that year.
It's more common.
Yeah.
Like, you look up and, like, you've gotten on, 10 eliminators that year.
This question is from Bugsy Johnson 2317. Can a Native American be a cowboy? What is the average on winning on those eliminators? And the reason I ask, because when you get to these rodeos, you have an eliminator, but there's probably 5 or 6 other horses that are just super ranked, or they're ranked, but they're a little easier to get by.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is sometimes they'll reward you for riding a rank horse. I've been 88 points on a dink hopper before, and I've ridden Ghost Town and been 86.
Right.
And sometimes they'll reward you for it, and sometimes they won't. Hoppers, I kind of like that TV pin. They're always going to reward you for TV pin. But if somebody has, Virgil, and somebody has, Ghost Town, Virgil's going to win every time.
Right. But you have to do your job.
Yeah, but the thing about an eliminator is they are harder to make a good ride on. But if you did just send it and, made a perfect ride on an eliminator, you're going to beat the TV pin horse.
Yeah, for sure. That's if the judges are doing their job right.
Exactly.
And that's the hardest part. With timed events, you don't really notice it. Yeah, there's some things that you go, well, that might have been a little bit fishy. But in the rough stock, and I think it's happened in everybody's career, always seem to be a couple points higher over on the veteran side. Yeah,
that'll happen. That will happen. I don't know. I've tried to wrap my head around some of the conspiracies, and the best thing for me to do is just shut my mind off and not even think about it.
Well, and I guess especially in your event, because if you get to start, say, talking shit about the judges or whatever, it sticks in their mind. They're going to remember that. They're going to know it. And then when you go and make a hell of a ride, they'll be like, wait a second, wasn't that the kid talking shit?
Yeah, well, I've just tried to think about it, like put myself in their shoes. Yeah, there's probably some judges that don't like me. There's probably some judges that, dock me a point or two. But, if I was a judge and I saw me, I probably wouldn't like me either. Let's be honest.
What wouldn't you like about you?
Well, I'm not going to start talking shit about judges, but if I was standing in a striped vest, I'd be pissed off as well.
Well, you have obviously shown the judges, and in my opinion, that even though you may piss them off, they're still marking you because you're doing the exact job that you're supposed to do.
There's some judges that I think don't like me. They don't really talk to me. But they're also the judges that, mark me no matter how they like me. And those are the best judges that are no matter what, they're going to be fair.
Right.
There's just some judges where, they've got me a few points, and I'm like, you know what, that was fair because on this side, toe was up or whatever. And I'm like, that was pretty fair. And then whenever I just come undone and make a really good ride, they reward me for it. But I feel like the judges hold me to a standard of my own. Like if I don't make a ride that, isn't my best, they're not going to reward me like, Joe Blow makes a really good ride.
Right.
So I feel like if I don't ride like me, they're not going to mark me.
Yeah, no, I damn sure can see that for sure. It's been fun getting to really reconnect with your dad from this Kid Rocks Rock and Rodeo deal, and being around him, and he was a guy that when I first started, I considered him one of my very best friends. But listening to him, he's like, man, when I was steer wrestling, I didn't give a shit about anything rough stock. He said, now I know these horses. I know the delivery. I know who owns them. I know how many points they should be. It's been fun to listen to him talk about how educated he got in the rough stock riding. Oh, yeah.
You got to think, whenever I started riding bucking horses, so did he. So, really, if you think about it, he knows just as much as I do, and he's never even done it. And we started learning at the same time.
Yeah, that's for sure. He showed me the video of the very first horse you got on, and what the hell was that? What was that horse's name?
Helgus.
Helgus or Helga or whatever. Yes.
Yeah, Helga.
I actually want him to send me that video. I'm going to put it on here because your mom was like, isn't this supposed to be a really nice horse to ride? And Helga kind of wrecked you out a little bit on your first one.
I was also like 80 pounds. You didn't think she had anything on her back. It was just a flank and a rigging.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What was it like starting? I mean, obviously you were an athlete your whole life out on the water, but now getting into the arena with a bareback riding rigging. What was it like from start to now? I mean, you've grown tremendously in just a few years.
Starting out bareback riding, it really just felt like I was kind of a fish out of water. I mean, I wasn't used to wearing a cowboy hat,
right?
Boot. I wasn't used to anything. I mean, it was just. But there's something to being absolutely terrible at something and loving to get really good at it.
Yeah.
That I love. I mean, I sucked so bad, but I loved learning. I wanted to practice. I wanted to get on the spur board all the time, the buck machine. I like, just like wakeboarding. I mean, I loved getting better. And, I feel like I have, a way of getting really good really fast. And I did that with wakeboarding, and that's what kind of burnt me out. So, I mean, I've just been trying not to get burned out.
Yeah.
Because
I
took like the fast track to the NFR. That's pretty much what I did. I mean, I practiced all the time, didn't go to amateur rodeos, didn't get, hurt.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just like I was a fish out of water for a little bit. And sometimes it still feels that way.
Everybody knows that you hit the ground a lot in the bareback riding, especially when you first start. So making sure the ground was soft enough for you, little things like that.
Yeah,
building a champion.
I mean, they did everything. They did everything for me. I mean, there's no way, if I didn't have them, that I would have, one, ridden bareback horses. There's no way. And then two, I mean, if I did, there's no way I would have made it.
Yeah.
Because I probably would have seen the kids going to amateur rodeos, and I would have entered, and I would have either got hurt or been like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go race motocross. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, the journey for me to watch, and hopefully a lot of the haters out there are watching this and understand that the work you put in, I don't care what anybody is given in their life. If they don't put the work in, they will not have success, especially in the rodeo business and especially in the bareback riding.
It's no joke. I mean, if you don't do the work, you ain't getting paid.
Yeah. And
if you don't get paid, you don't win nothing.
No, exactly. And again, it doesn't matter if you have an arena with 50 head of horses or an arena with 2 head of horses. You have to put that work in to get to the level and the success that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, I worked as hard as I could, and my parents did everything for me. My family did everything for me. People say, I'm who I am because of my family, and all these practice people just say stuff about the practice horses and everything. But my parents didn't do everything for me. They just helped me work.
They gave you the opportunity, and you had to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they just helped me work. They helped me learn. And if I didn't want to work, you can't make somebody work that doesn't want to work. I loved learning. I loved working. And I don't know why, but as soon as I found out I was going to ride bareback horses, I loved it, and I wanted to go to the NFR. So I mean, you got to think, for 5 years, that's all I did was practice.
Right.
Sanderson Ford is celebrating.
Ow! Can he slow it down a bit?
Hey, Randy, turn down the heat.
That's perfect. We're celebrating our 69th anniversary sale.
Now during the Mighty Fine 69 anniversary sale, get home run deals like these.
Get 1.9 financing on F-150 trucks. Get 0% financing plus $1,000 flex buy cash on new Escapes.
Catch the savings at Sanderson Ford.
A proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, and you had, obviously, your dad, a world champion steer wrestler, your grandpa Bobby, world champion bull rider, your mom and your grandma, NFR barrel racer. So you had that help of how to win, or to tell you how to win, but you have to go out and do it yourself. But not only did you have them, Ty Murray was a big inspiration and a big help in your career of bareback riding starting out.
Yeah, that was another thing, is I didn't want to, have guys like Ty Murray and Larry Mahan helping me, and me, turn out and be a flop because I didn't want to work. I wanted, to almost bring their name back.
Yeah.
And let everybody know that this was, Ty's prodigy.
Right. Well, that to me, that's awesome because my son's a freshman and he absolutely loves steer wrestling. But I told him, I said, I don't want you to steer wrestle because I did it and I was good at it. I want you to want to do it for yourself. But again, he needs to put the work in, and to hear you say that, you didn't want help from Ty Murray and Larry Mahan and then become a flop. I think those are words that a lot of kids need to hear. Nobody wants to go to the very best in the world and then not be successful because they didn't put the work in.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I made an everyday thing if I was going to get better for, not only myself, but for my family. I didn't want to suck. You
mentioned Ty Murray, Larry Mahan, guys that helped you out, and you didn't really want to let them, you didn't want to fail them per se. And that's why I feel like my son is freshman, he's steer wrestling, and he has an opportunity with everybody that I've been around and brought to him to be the best. And I think that's things that all young kids need to hear, that people that help you, you need to put in the work because they are putting in the work to help you.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you have an opportunity to learn from somebody that's the best at what they did, and you want to do that, take the damn opportunity to go learn. Like why wouldn't your kid be a bulldogger? Because he can learn from you. If my dad was Leonard Skinner, I would learn how to play the damn guitar. Because but I mean that's the thing about whenever I saw I was wakeboarding. And, my dad had some friends in wakeboarding and stuff like that. And I did get into a niche where I had opportunities to learn from some of the greatest wakeboarders ever. But, I had to fly to Orlando to do it. And they weren't next to me. Ty lived an hour from me. Right. So it was like, okay, I'm going to ride bareback courses. And my dad has all these friends that can help me. And they live, within an hour. So I took the opportunity. I saw, the guys that, created this sport, and made the sport what it is, trying to help me. And I'm going to take the opportunity to learn.
Yeah, hell yeah. Why wouldn't you? Your dad did mention a story about your rigging or your gear. I guess you had a pair of spurs from Ty, or Larry gave to Ty and Ty gave to you. And he said, man, you need to lock that stuff up. That's valuable memorabilia that you're wearing on your feet.
Yeah. I've told that story a lot about the Spurs and the history of the Spurs, and as awesome as it is to wear those, and such an honor. And I have no idea why Ty would trust me with those things, especially at 13 years old. Is he crazy? Right. Actually, don't answer that. I already know the answer. He's crazy. But I sometimes get paranoid about leaving my gear bag in the locker room or in my truck. Like, I feel like if that story gets out too far, and those things are worth a lot of money. But I mean, I don't know. I would never. I don't think I could live with myself if they got stolen.
No, but still, how cool is that? Like you said, for him to trust you with them. He won so much with them, and obviously Larry is Larry. He won what he did with them, and now they're on the heels of your boots. And if those Spurs could talk, the stories they could tell, and the horses they could tell they've been on. Yeah,
I mean. Those Spurs. I mean, they would be already they should already be in a museum,
right?
Without me, and that's another thing. Is I don't want. I mean, two of the best rodeo cowboys in history. I mean, Larry Mahan. I mean, rodeo without Larry Mahan and Ty Murray is like waffles without no syrup.
You're exactly right. I mean, those two guys. What they did, especially, Larry back in the days of his prime, what he did to elevate the sport outside of the Western culture, taking it elsewhere, which was huge for the sport.
I mean, people don't understand that back whenever, my granddad and Larry were rodeoing, Larry Mahan was one of the most famous people in America.
Yeah.
He was literally like Travis Kelce, just way cooler.
Yeah, minus Taylor Swift.
Yeah, minus T Swift.
Yeah, all right, well, let's talk about the legendary Kid Rock, Rock and Rodeo. Your dad's a coach. Obviously, you were the number 1 draft pick. I got to call your name out. The first ever draft of a rodeo. Rocker Steiner goes to the Jokers. His dad and Joe Beaver did some trading around to get him. How cool is that? Not only to be the number 1 draft pick, but to be an event like this with Kid Rock pushing it.
I mean, the rodeo world's never seen something like this. And for, somebody like Kid Rock to want to do this with us and help us is, super, super cool to me. And, he didn't have to help us, but rodeo needs some help right now. I mean, rodeo has a chance to, be something huge, especially
go
right
to the
now.
next level.
And, we need a push from somebody that wants to help and it already has, what he has. I mean, and, I love everything about rodeo, and it's maybe the most American sport in the world. And, Kid Rock is one of the most American people I've ever met. And for somebody like him to come in and want to help, big deal. And so when they asked me if I want to do it, I jumped on it. Why would you then again, why would I not take that opportunity?
Right. And I know being the commissioner of this deal is more work than I realized, but it's going to be a work in progress. We're going to go through some, we're going to have some little hiccups that we're going to work through. And, but to be at AT&T in a head-to-head format, which time events are a little bit different, red, yellow, green go at the same time, which that's going to be rank in itself. But again, to have the star power behind it with the legendary coaches, Kid Rock, and I know you've got to spend some time with Kid in his place, and as I did. And you want to talk about a guy that is, probably is down to earth for the star power he carries. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I mean, he's just like any rock star. I mean, he's wild. He likes to have fun, and he's exactly. It's hard to even explain the guy. He's literally just what you would think. He's Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And what you see is what you get. He's exactly like he is on, podcasts and interviews and stuff like that. I mean, he's like that.
Yeah,
and
he speaks his mind.
When I went, I was a 19-year. No, I met him. So I met him because of, what happened at my first finals.
Right.
And here I am, an 18-year-old kid hanging out with Kid Rock. Like, he didn't have to let me come hang out. For a guy that's, how old is he? 55.
Right.
I mean, and Kid Rock, I mean, he doesn't have to hang out with me, but he did. And, I've been to his house, had dinner with him and his wife, Audrey, and, or fiance. And, he's kind of let me in with open arms and treated me great. So, I mean, for him to do that for me, I mean, there's nothing I can say bad about the guy.
Sanderson Ford is celebrating.
Ow! Can he slow it down a bit?
Hey, Randy, turn down the heat.
That's perfect. We're celebrating our 69th anniversary sale.
Now during the Mighty Fine 69 anniversary sale, get home run deals like these.
Get 1.9 financing on F-150 trucks. Get 0% financing plus $1,000 flex buy cash on new Escapes.
Catch the savings at Sanderson Ford.
A proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, well, and I think, but it's just the like-mindedness of the Western culture, the way we live our life, and how he believes how life should be lived, the freedoms that, we all believe in. And I think that really is what draws him to us, and when we were at his place a couple weeks ago, we've had that conversation of, we want America to be great again. And that's his thoughts, and that's the way he feels the Western lifestyle is going.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta know. I mean, he knows that, the rodeo world is the last true American way of life. I mean, we're, trying to carry on traditions that have been going on for forever.
Right.
We've been here.
Well, and Audrey, I got to have a really good conversation with her. She's quite the outdoors woman, loves to hunt, loves to fish, rides horses.
Oh, my God. Did she take you to her game room?
Oh, yeah, we went to the game room. That's impressive.
Yeah, and our Frisian horses. Oh, my God. Yeah, I get hit with 3 million questions about horses. Oh, yeah, she's awesome. She's She's definitely what Bob needs.
Yeah, that's 100% right. I mean, kind of keeps him grounded and
Without Audrey, Bob might go off the rocker.
Yeah, just to listen to her, the wild stories and the, I guess the crazy life they live together, and like you said, it keeps him pretty grounded.
He'll get a little wild, and he'll kind of start talking some shit, and Audrey will just tell him to shut up, and I'm like,
yeah, you just told Kid Rock to shut up.
You just tell Kid Rock to shut up. But I mean, she's the only person that can do that.
Yeah,
and without that, he might turn into something he doesn't want to be.
Right, 100%. And again, I can't thank him enough for being a part of it and help pushing the sport in the direction. Like you said, I think the sport can get elevated, and he might be the exact guy that's going to take it to where it needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, he might be the Tom Teague to the PBR.
100%. 100%.
You never know. I mean, you never know what people – and, you never know. I mean, there might be some big-time people that see this rodeo and they go, you can have your own rodeo, and the next thing you know, we have, 50 of these a year with different people promoting them.
Yeah, and different venues all across the country. I mean, obviously, we've seen the rodeo in San Diego, which I know you were going, but some issues and you end up not going. But now they're having one in Phoenix where the Diamondbacks play, or was it Glendale? Phoenix, anyway. And, with the way rodeo is getting put out there, this could be huge. I mean, we could have these events, hopefully multiple throughout the year, and showcase our sport the way it needs to be showcased.
If there's anything that I am in rodeo for, it is to make rodeo as big as possible. Like, I want to pump rodeo up, and I love everything about rodeo. And if there was just a button I could hit to make rodeo the biggest sport in the world, I'd hit that thing with a sledgehammer. There's nothing I wouldn't do to make this sport as big as possible, and that's what I'm trying to do. And people, I don't know if people just don't see what I'm trying to do, but I feel like some people just think, because you got to know how many people are at Houston. There's 75,000 people in the stands. There's probably 6,000 there that don't know nothing about rodeo. They just think we show up on the weekend and we do it for fun. So, I mean, I want people to know that this is a job and this is our career and this is one of the coolest sports that I've ever seen. And, like I said, if there's a button I can hit to, let people know that this sport is insane and badass, I'd hit it with a sledgehammer.
Rocker, well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know you're a busy guy and got a lot of things going on, man. Again, it's been great to talk to you and having you on the show again.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
This question is from Bugsy Johnson 2317. Can a Native American be a cowboy? There are so many Native Americans that are cowboys, that are world champion cowboys, that against anybody any day of the week. Hey, you want to see more in-depth details on the Luke Branquinho Show? Make sure you like and subscribe.